Hello, my name is Jonathan Clark, and in this short video I'm going to introduce you to innovation games, game storming, and other serious games. But we're going to start by thinking about innovation. Innovation, to my mind, is made up of three key elements. There's insight, ideas, and impact. We need insight into the problem that we want to solve, or the context, or the user that we want to build for. And we need ideas, of course. But we need these ideas to have real impact. In other words, something has to be done with these ideas. And ideally, we need fresh new insights that haven't been seen before, fresh new ideas, and brand new ways to implement them. Now, by definition, new means something we have never done or thought before. So how do you explore spaces that have never been explored before? How do we insert freshness and creativity into every part of the innovation process? Well, one way is to involve different people in our process. Another way is just simply to do things differently. It sounds easier than it actually is. But in fact, it turns out you need as much innovation and creativity in designing your innovation process as you do in developing the ideas. In fact, the more innovative your process is, the more you involve different people, the more you do things differently, the more chance you have of coming up with something really new. But it really is, as I just said, much harder than you might think. Humans, we have this strong temptation to stick with the processes we know and that have worked for us in the past. But we have to break that routine and get out of the familiar and dare to think differently. But how do we do that? Well, game dynamics is one way. It can make even tried and tested techniques seem fresh and exciting to the participants. The freshness helps them come up with new insights. Now, traditional market research techniques involve asking people questions in focus groups, for instance. The problem with this approach is that however good the moderator is, there's always an element of bias. Participants will tend to tell us the things they think we want to hear. But if we set up a session so the participants are questioning each other and talking to each other, and we just listen in, then you'll find that something magical happens, and they start to talk in new ways that we've never heard before, and they share insights that we've never heard before. Now, collaboration is a very useful game dynamic for creative sessions. The more we can inspire participants to work together and collaborate, the more fun they will have, and the more fun they have, the higher their energy will be and their motivation. And in fact, the better the collective creativity process will flow. So serious games can help break our routine and discover fresh new insights. What do I mean by serious games? Well, serious games are games where the primary purpose is more than just pure entertainment. They're entertaining and fun, of course, but there's a serious purpose. Innovation games is an example of that. They are group activities that use game dynamics and game mechanics to engage participants much more effectively than any other technique. Innovations games focus on the whole innovation process, from the market research at the start, through gathering insight, product development, idea generation, and to feature prioritization and management. Game storming puts the emphasis more on applying dynamics to traditional business group activities. Both are wonderful to explore. Both innovation games and game storming activities are often based on a generative metaphor that helps participants make sense of a problem, but in a fun and easy to understand way. Metaphors are powerful ways to engage groups, and they can become whole platforms for novel thinking and storytelling. Now, here are some games that I think you might find useful. If your problem is that you need to find out what's wrong or where the pain points are or where your product is falling down, then there's a game called Speedboat that's very helpful. Imagine that your product or your company or your project is a speedboat. What do speedboats do? They want to roar away into the distance very fast. But sadly, they're held back by anchors. So let's think about what those anchors might be. What is holding you back? And then, of course, to make a boat go faster, what do? You put on propellers. So what might kind of the propellers be that speed us up or make our product better or our company faster? This is a really great game to discover and discuss problems in a playful way. One of my favourite games is called Product Box, which is all about co-creating ideal products and services. It goes like this. Imagine your product fits in a box, like a breakfast cereal. how would that box look? And what would it say on the box, on the outside of the box, that would persuade your customers to buy it and to open it up and see what's inside? This game is wonderfully creative, and it's especially good for uncovering new insights and novel ideas. Show and Tell is a great game for discovering some unexpected uses of your existing product. You invite your customers or users to come and visit you and ask them to tell something about the products they use. The trick is for you to stay quiet and to listen to the conversations they have amongst themselves. And I guarantee if you do that, you'll discover some hidden insights. There's a wonderful game called Cover Story, which helps you describe a vision for the future. Let's imagine your product has been launched and it's wonderful. It's a huge success. It's so successful that a leading magazine wants to run a cover story on your product. What would that cover story say? What would be the headline? What would be the details? Who would be the audience? Who would read it? Explore that cover story as a way of describing the future success of your product before it's even been created. The last game I'd like to share with you is a really fun one to try. It's called My Worst Nightmare. Now, let's suppose you're starting on a new product development, or perhaps a project is extremely good for this, for a project that you're about to start. You get together with the team, and the first thing you do is imagine what would be your worst project that you could imagine. Just go crazy and think of the worst nightmare project that you could ever think of. Together, design a poster or a flip chart to describe that in detail, and then review it. And what you see is that the nightmare is made up of things that might actually could happen. I mean, it might be extreme, but some things can happen. And if you know about them ahead of time, you can actually do something about it. So those are just a few games. There are many more online and in the books. And there's a handout that I've sent along with this video that will help you, hopefully. It's been a very quick introduction to serious games for innovation, but I do hope it inspires you to try them out. I think you'll find them very useful. Remember that innovation requires a fresh new approach, so dare to be different. Do things that you've not done before. It's also best done with a smile on your face, so whatever you do, make sure you have fun doing it. Thank you very much, and good luck.